Hello, friends. Welcome back to the most exciting video of my life, okay? The day is finally here. Crescent City 3 comes out, and we are gonna freaking read it together and freak out together, okay? Hello, I'm Maile if you're new here. We do lots of fun lifestyle things on this channel and some book content, and the book content we're getting into today is just maximum level awesomeness, okay? I need to calm down a little bit, but I'm so excited. I have been waiting, like all of you. I mean, if you're watching this video, then I'm sure you are currently reading this along with me as well and have been anticipating this. In preparation, I have watched the recap video that Carrie can read, who I freaking love. She's one of my favorite booktubers. She does these hilarious recap videos. If you've never seen them, you need to go check them out. Where she has this like character web behind her and she uses her wand as a pointer and she goes through the plot really, really in depth, like the House of Sky and Breath video that I watched in preparation for this book reading session, because it's been like over a year, I think, since I read House of Sky and Breath. And there was so much going on in that book that I wanted a nice in-depth reminder. So that video is 3 hours long and I have consumed it. I have all the plot points just buzzing around in my head, all the things I need to remember as I go into reading the third book. How I have worked all day without opening my Kindle, I don't even know. But the thing is, I'll tell you how. I'll tell you how. It's that I'm still waiting for the freaking physical copy, okay? Amazon is shipping it to me today. It's out for delivery. I've checked my Amazon order 5 million times. I've checked the front porch 5 million times. It's not freaking here yet. And there's just something nice about starting a book by cracking open the page, especially a big fat book like this one. Ooh, I love it so much. So I do have a Kindle copy as well. I know it's loaded on there. I have not opened it. I'm trying to hold myself back so that I can at least start reading with the physical copy. I'm sure I'll switch back and forth between so many times in this video of Kindle versus physical copy, but I like to have them both and I want to start with a big chunky book, you know? So I'm just constantly checking the door. So Amazon really needs to get here because I only have a little bit of time before Eric and I have to be at rehearsal tonight, and then I'll get some good reading in this evening. Oh gosh. I hope I sleep. It may be that we stay up all night. Who knows? Stay tuned. Lots of good things coming. And I do have to say, there will be spoilers. Like, I'm just going to talk about the things as they happen. So that's your forewarning. We're just going to talk in depth about what freaking happens along the ride of us reading this book together. Oh my gosh, I need it to arrive. Let's go check the front porch. Anything? 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 Dang it. Also, I think my neighbor just saw me make that face and they're probably like, what the heck are you doing, girl? Okay, and as I go check the front porch again, approximately 13 minutes later, even though I've checked the Amazon order and I know it's not here yet, I thought I would tell you, I have also refrained from reading the first chapter because Sarah J. Maas freaking posted the first chapter on her website, but I was like, no, I don't want to read the first chapter because there's gonna be some cliffhanger at the end of it, and then I'm gonna not have the book for a couple of days and I'm gonna be only thinking about that. So I haven't read any of it yet. I'm dying. I'm about to just open my freaking Kindle, you guys. This is too much. This is too much. Oh my gosh, you guys. It's been like 30 minutes. My book hasn't come. I've checked for it like 30,000 times. I only have like a little over an hour and 45 minutes-ish until rehearsal. I can't keep waiting for it. I mean, it may not come until after we leave for rehearsal tonight, which means I won't even be able to read it until like 9:30. I think I gotta crack it open. I think we just gotta crack it open on the Kindle and go for it, okay? Should we do it? Should we do it? Should we do it? I think we should do it. Let's do it. Okay. Glasses going on. I've got my afternoon Starbies I'm still working on. Let's crack this baby open. I'm so excited. House of Flame and Shadow. Let's do this. It's queuing. Oh my gosh. It's ready to open. Oh my gosh, it's opening. I'm such a freak. The Four Houses of Midgard, in case you needed a reminder. Okay, is that the true first? We got a map. Oh my gosh, we got a map. That is crazy. I'm gonna digest that later. Okay. How many chapters are we dealing with? 102. Oh, House of Flame and Shadow. Reapers, wraiths, vampires, draki, dragons, necromancers, and many wicked and unnamed things that even Erd herself cannot see. Okay, now we're on the prologue. Here we go. I'm gonna put you on fast mode. Let's see how far I get. Oh my gosh, you guys, I only made it through the prologue and the sun is rapidly going down, but look what just got delivered. I'm such a freak. Okay, my neighbors are going to think I'm insane. Let's go crack this baby open. Oh my gosh. I am too happy about this. Like, I'm freaking out. This is so many pages. Oh, and it's big font too. Okay, I like that. It's really only, I'm not gonna look at the last word, but 835 pages. And it's actually really nice, big words. So I don't think this is gonna take me that long to read. It's beautiful. Oh my gosh. We basically have to leave for rehearsal right now. But before we do, I just wanna crack this baby open with you guys. So come closer, come on. Oh my gosh. Let's crack it open. Oh, beautiful. Yes. Oh my gosh. I'm literally dying. Oh, I cannot wait to just like take this map in. Oh my gosh. So beautiful. Okay, like I said, I made it through the prologue. So, I'm officially at part 1, the drop. I'm going to mark it here and shut it. It's taking all my freaking willpower right now because Eric and I have to go to rehearsal. So this is gonna have to wait till I get home. I will catch you when I get home and it's time to actually sit down and do some dedicated reading. The prologue, solid. Okay, see you when it's time to read. Okay, friends, I'm home from rehearsal. It's about 9:45, so I'm not gonna get a lot of reading in. I'm really tired and I'm fighting a headache, but I am determined. I'm going to get some reading in tonight. So I'm gonna read part of this big honking guy, and I'll update you tomorrow with where I stop at and what my thoughts are so far. Okay, it's the next day, and I thought I would give you my thoughts. So far, I am, let's see, 8% into the book. I'm on chapter 5. So far, we've seen Ethan and the long-lost alpha air girl. Oh my gosh. They're currently with the boy band. I call them the boy band, like the Declan and Flynn and what's the other one? I can't remember. We've seen Therion freaking just like living his worst life with the Viper Queen. Like, oh my gosh, poor guy. But that's where Ariadne is. So that's where the dragon ran off to. I can't remember if we knew that or if I just forgot that, but that may be new information. I don't know. Okay, we've seen Hunt and Rune in the dungeons. We know that Cormac is dead. Oh, it's so sad. So sad. I loved Cormac. I'm gonna miss him. Maybe he's not dead. He's probably dead, but I'm gonna miss him because I loved him. And the best part so far has been the 2 chapters with Bryce in Rhysand's world. Like, what the frick? And just like that, the whole world's converging thing is insane. And I'm like trying to pay the most insane amount of attention to everything and like read much slower than I'm used to reading because I don't want to miss anything. Like even the most like, you know, throwaway lines to get you into something is still just like such good information. Like for example, this like throwaway silliness is so freaking amazing to me. Like I loved every second of it. So they're trying to determine what the tattoo on Bryce's back is. And Amryn says, I can feel something in the letters. Bryce tensed. Get Nesta. Asriel murmured, Cassian won't be happy. Cassian will deal. Nesta will be able to sense this better than I can. It's just like that little snippet about Cassian and Nesta. I'm just like eating up, you know, like go get Nesta because she's a powerful badass and she can help us with the situation. But be careful because her mate's super territorial and Cassian's not going to be happy about you putting her in any kind of danger. And it's just like, I love it all. And then Amryn's like, do it, Rhysand. The Akatar characters are just the greatest. I love their dynamics. So anyway, I'm thoroughly enjoying it. It's already a little bit silly, like freaking the silver bean that they give Bryce so that she can speak their language. Like, oh my gosh. Anyway, I'm on chapter 5. I haven't gotten to do any reading at all today. It's in the evening. And I read just a little bit last night because I've been fighting a headache and worked all day today. So it's finally the end of the day and I don't think I'm going to get any more reading in before rehearsal. So there's your update. I'll catch you after rehearsal tonight. I think we're maybe going to dive into the audiobook a little bit. So I'll catch you tonight. Okay, you guys, I'm nice and cozy in bed. It's after rehearsal and I'm going to embroider my next embroidery project. This is it, while I crack into the audiobook for the first time. So I love the lady that does the audiobook narration. So we're gonna get through a lot tonight while embroidering. So let's do it. I am so sleepy. Oh my gosh. This is how far I got on my embroidery project. And I got to chapter 18. I think I'm like 23% through. There's so many things going on. This series, there is just so many moving parts. So you kind of just have to, like, it's kind of all over the place. But I personally love that. I love following multiple point of views, multiple characters. What's making me sad right now is the hind. Some people pronounce it the hind, some people pronounce it the hind. I think the audiobook pronounces it the hind. That's how I pronounce it. Anyway, how she's, you know, a double agent and she and Rune are in love, but Rune found out she's the hind and he like hates her guts now. Like he's saying horrible things to her. Like I do not know. They do not seem like endgame to me right now, which is probably they're going to end up endgame, but we'll see. You guys, it's so late and dark and I'm reading right now and freaking Baxian just bit off Rune's arm. Like what is happening right now? What is happening? Oh my gosh, it just keeps getting worse. Freaking Ethan killing Secret and freaking Bryce making the prison become the castle again or whatever she did and awaking the freaking Asteria in the sarcophagus. Like, what is going on? I've got my Kindle arm set up right here and I'm reading. It's very late. I don't know how far I'm gonna get tonight, but we'll decompress when I don't look like this. Esme and I are very shocked by what's just happened. I've got the Kindle right here and Esme literally on my lap right under it. And freaking Bryce just opened the coffin that the Asteria was in. Like, what is she doing? What is she doing? Oh my gosh. This is unhinged. And I'm loving every second of it. All right, I think I'm stopping at part 2 for the night. Made it 33% through, on to the second part. I'm sleepy, so I'll catch you tomorrow. Oh my gosh. The adrenaline. It's the next day. I'm a good chunk into part 2. I'm listening to the audiobook as I sit here and embroider, and it's all I can do. I'm literally at the point where Lydia just rescued them and they're on the ship and she's creating a diversion and the Dreadwolves are after her and she's not gonna make it. And Rune is like begging Therian to go help her. Oh my gosh, the adrenaline is running through me. If freaking Lydia dies and she and Rune's story is not wrapped up and it's wrapped up by her dying, I will not be okay. I will not be okay. Okay, Lydia's not dead. I mean, she's in like a coma thing, but she's not dead. That's good. That's very good. Good morning, it's the next day and I got a lot of reading done last night. I think I'm like 56 or 57% in. I'm on page 469 and we've got this much left. So many things are happening. Here's what I think just like overall about the book so far. I have a couple thoughts. One, I don't know if it's the hype or if it's the disjointedness of switching from character to character like within chapters, but I just feel like when you read this, you have to pay such good attention and that may be, like I said, the hype, because with Crescent City 1 and 2 they're extremely convoluted, especially the first one where Sarah J Maas just like info dumps all the lore on you. So I think like maybe I'm just more accustomed to knowing that I need to read every single word and pay very close attention, but that's been my experience so far, is every single word is so important. And honestly, in the first Crescent City book, I remember being so annoyed by that because I didn't know the world yet. Like I said, she just info dumps you so much and it's just like you have no context for anything and it just seems like endless amounts of information you don't even know what to do with yet. But now that I know the world, it's so much nicer. Like I enjoy paying super close attention and hanging on every word. Like I'm very much enjoying that aspect about this one. I think it's the most disjointed character-wise. I remember House of Sky and Breath being at least each chapter was just one character, but these chapters switch characters so often in the middle of a chapter. And so that's a little disjointed. I don't mind that. It's just like I said, you just have to pay really good attention. Number two, I'm starting to think, and I'm going to be very upset if this is the case. And I'm skeptical that this is the case. Like, I'm still holding out hope. But honestly, Bryce came back to her world super fast in this book. And I'm starting to think we may not be going back. And that little snippet may be all we're getting of the ACOTAR characters in this book, which, like I said, I'm skeptical that that's going to happen. I'm hoping that in the last 400-ish pages, we go back and we reconnect. Maybe Rhysand finds a way to get to their world, and I don't know. I'm hoping we see more of the ACOTAR characters is what I'm saying. I'm hoping that what I got in the beginning of the book isn't it, because if it is, I feel like we were kind of cheated because of all the hype of the worlds converging. Like, it wasn't that mind-blowing and amazing yet. I mean, it really was mostly just Azrael and Nesta, which I love both those characters, but for the amount of hype that there is, I just really hope that they pop up again and have more of a part of this story. Other than that, I'm loving every second of it. Like, those are my two, like, big overarching thoughts, but I just love these characters. I'm especially really invested in Lydia, which is so crazy because I hated the Hind. I mean, I guess you're supposed to, but Lydia and Rune is just being a little baby, like, just freaking... Everybody has to make sacrifices for the war, and when you're freaking undercover as hardcore as she was undercover, like, yeah, you have to become a monster. Like, she's not really a monster, though. You know that. You know her. Just, like, suck it up and stop being a little baby. So anyway, I am going to do some physical reading. We've just done all kinds. We've done Kindle. We've done audiobook. I love the audiobook. The lady who narrates the audiobook is just so fantastic. And we've done actual book reading. So I'm going to do some book reading this morning. Let's see how far we get. The moment I've been waiting for. Freaking Lydia and Rune getting together. Yes! Yes, I'm here for it. I am so here for it. Okay, so Bryce... Bryce is turning into Aelin. Like, if you've read the Throne of Glass series, I'm getting serious Aelin vibes. So Bryce has killed the Autumn Queen and Cormac's dad. I can't remember what his title is. And she just, like, straight up annihilated them. And she's, like, stepped in as the Fae Queen officially. She's, like, freed their realm from darkness of the Autumn King, or... Honestly, that part was kind of questionable. Something about the mist and the black salt, without the power of the two rulers that she killed, protects the Fae in that realm from the Asteri getting in. And so, conveniently, they now have this whole Fae land that she rules over. They don't have a castle because she burned it down, but honestly, it's pretty convoluted how that happened. But conveniently now she's queen, and she doesn't have any of the older rulers to challenge her now. And she has this, like, protected Fae land that she's bringing her family to, and all of her friends are at, pretty much. So now they're going to open the gates of hell to let the armies through that are going to help them take on the Asteri. And we figured out that, like, she and Hunt, I'm talking this out loud to make sure I understand what's happened because it's very convoluted. Hunt was kind of like an experiment by the demons in hell. Like, he called himself a test tube demon or something like that. Like, they created him to be a weapon Bryce could use to help, I have to think so hard, like, activate the Star Sword and the knife so that they work together and they do have the power to kill the Asteri, mixed with Bryce, who she's got 2/3 of the power of her ancestors that she found, and she has to find the other third. So, honestly, it's kind of a hot mess at this point. Kind of a hot mess. I'm I think like maybe like 70% through. Got a couple hundred pages left, and I think I'm just gonna marathon it and get through. So I think I'll catch you at the end. Wow, so much information. I finished this guy officially a couple days ago, and I've been sitting on it to really like ruminate, think through all my thoughts and feelings on it, and it's time to debrief and give you my rating and talk about all the things. So first off, did I like it? Yes, I did like it. Did I love it? I don't think I loved it. I also didn't hate it. I just honestly, overall feelings about it, if I had to generalize my thoughts, were, that's it. It just seemed a little lackluster, a little overhyped. And honestly, I think that is a little bit unfair, because if there hadn't been so much hype surrounding it, would I have thought it was better? I think I maybe just expected too much from it. I expected it to be mind-blowing like House of Sky and Breath was, and how every single page I just like wanted to get through and turn as quickly as possible because of all the action that was going on, all the new characters we were meeting that I was loving, all the high stakes of it all. Like House of Sky and Breath was an absolute 5-star read. Loved that book so much. And I think I just expected this, especially because of all the hype surrounding it, to be even better, and it wasn't as good. And so I think I'm more disappointed because it had that working against it. So there's that caveat about all the hype, but the reasons that I really, really liked it, let's talk about that first. I loved probably my very favorite thing to read, and what I was like turning the pages to get to scenes with, Lydia and Rune. I loved their storyline, I loved their storyline in House of Sky and Breath. I loved it even more in this, like seeing their romance come full circle. And probably the most exciting part of it was when she was breaking Rune and Hunt and Baxian out of the prison. That was my favorite part, because that really had me on the edge of my seat and was that like do or die situation, huge stakes, Sarah J. Maas-esque writing and situations. I loved that part. That was my favorite part of the whole thing. And I loved following their characters and their romance. And Lydia just like flourished in front of us. She became such a three-dimensional character. I loved the side story about her sons and just how, I loved it all, okay? I loved it all. Loved. I also loved reading about Ethan, and I will say he annoyed me in the first 2 books. Ethan was never my favorite character, but I loved reading all of his storyline in this book, and I really saw it coming. I didn't see it coming that he was going to become Prime, but I saw it coming that the Prime was going to make him heir and he was somehow going to get his own pack. I loved following Therion's storyline, even though he was a little bit poor me boy. And I didn't love that aspect, but I really loved him stepping in and marrying, whose sister was it? Declan's sister? I can't remember whose sister it was. One of the 3 boy band boys. I loved that new character. Can't remember her name right now, but she seems, I think we're getting some sort of side story about the 2 of them, or continuation of something with her, because I really am intrigued by that storyline that just kind of got started. I love Declan. I love all the boy band boys. Rune's little sidekicks. Just love all the side characters. And that's, I think, the strongest thing about Sarah J. Maas is the characters she creates are just so lovable. They're just so lovable. Now, Bryce and Hunt were kind of my least favorite part of this book, and I have never been in the camp of not loving Bryce and not loving Hunt. I really liked them in the first and second book, but I just found their storylines super boring and disjointed this time. And honestly, Bryce seemed to be having a huge character identity crisis. Like, I'll talk about that in a second, but they were not my favorite to follow. Another thing I really liked that I don't think a lot of people did from what I've been seeing reviews about, I liked how disjointed it was. I liked how the characters were all over the place. I liked how in each chapter you switched from person to person super fast. I thought it kept the plot going. Now, I do wish that more happened in each scene, but I did like that we were kind of flying all over the place. Okay, so now let me talk about the things I didn't like, because it's a lot. Mostly, I didn't like that Bryce seemed to be having a total identity crisis. I just kept thinking, like, where is all of Bryce's like uniqueness? I feel like she was so different than Sarah J Maas's other female protagonists. Yes, she's very strong. Yes, she'll take you down, but she also has such a prissy side and such like a almost Valley Girl-esque attitude, which I like. I like how prissy she is. I like how much she cares about her white couch and how into social media she is and how much she loves fashion. Like, I really like that about her, how much she loves dance. Like, I just feel like she had so many unique character qualities that you did not see in Throne of Glass or ACOTAR that just made her stand out and made me really like her and appreciate how different she was. And I feel like those character qualities went completely out the window in this book. And maybe it was because the stakes were higher and she was supposed to be leading the charge to take down the Asteri, but like, that doesn't mean you have to take her characterization out of it. I think I said in this vlog, maybe multiple times, she was giving me serious Aelin Galathinius vibes, and Aelin could not be more different of a character than Bryce. Like, Aelin is a schemer. Aelin is so strong, like will take you down and doesn't show any weakness, doesn't joke around, like is just so hardcore. And Bryce is not that, but Bryce had so many scenes in this, especially when she was acting as queen or whatever, that just seemed so out of pocket and not like Bryce. I wish I would have seen more of Bryce's typical characterization while also saving the world kind of vibes, you know what I mean? And I felt like that was missing. Another thing I didn't like was that it just seemed overall like it was all too easy. And honestly, in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, is that on purpose? Were we supposed to think it was too easy? Or was that supposed to be just tinkling in the back of our minds? Because apparently this is not the last Crescent City book, even though it very much felt final. It very much felt like the finale. But to me, it didn't feel earned. Like, by the time you get to the big ending battle in ACOTAR, and even more so, the final whole book of the Throne of Glass series, it is so well earned, that conclusion. Like, those characters could not have given it any more than they did, and then some. Like, you appreciate that earned ending and that sacrifice and overcoming the most insane obstacles. And I just feel like this ending felt flat. Like, it felt way too easy to take down the Asteri. Felt like nothing was really sacrificed. Like, no one really died. In this book, I expected at least one big character to die. We just think the Asteri were the big bad and actually something worse is gonna come along. Like, what's gonna go down if we get another Crescent City book? It just didn't feel like a typical, incredibly satisfying, perfect Sarah J Maas ending to me. What I did get way too much of in this book, and I think this is the most common criticism, is the info dumping. I just like couldn't even tell you the lore behind the Asteri or all the different worlds, how Midgard got into this situation, Bryce's ancestors and their story. Like, it was so convoluted. It was so much information just being dumped on us, page after page. It was all just like too much information that didn't come together in the end. That's the thing. Sarah J Maas writes complicated things, okay? But it all comes together in the end and you understand how things go together. It's a puzzle piece that fits so nicely and satisfyingly together at the end. And I just didn't get that. Like, I could not describe to you what happened in the end other than like, they sent the Asteri off into a nothing world. Bryce got sucked in with them. Hunt was able to go in and save her, and the Asteri are apparently gone forever. Like, that's the very surface level of what happened. The lore and the reasoning and the information behind it, don't understand, because it was just like thrown in my face, back to back to back to back to back, in a very convoluted structure of pages at a time that just felt so disjointed to me. So I did not love that. And the thing that probably bothered me the most, honestly, was how much the ending of House of Sky and Breath was hyped, that the worlds were converging, we were going to get ACOTAR in the Crescent City world, and I just wanted so much more. And maybe we'll get it in the next ACOTAR book, who knows? But that's the thing, is like, I don't love Crescent City enough for Crescent City to show up in ACOTAR. I just wanted ACOTAR to show up in Crescent City because I love those characters so much. So we got Nesta, we got Asriel, and I love Nesta. Nesta's one of my favorites. Asriel, I could take or leave. But I wanted them all. I wanted Feyre. I wanted way more Rhys. Like, I wanted Cassian. I wanted all of them. And we just got little tiny snippets. And honestly, it felt like, oh, for the hype, I'm gonna work in the ACOTAR characters, but like, what value did they actually bring other than the mask and the sword? Like, I don't know. It just felt very forced. It felt very forced. And also, you know what freaking annoyed the crap out of me? And I thought was like the most random thing of the whole book was, why in the Sam hell did Bryce take her parents to Valaris for Nesta to keep safe? Like, that made no sense to me, especially because she didn't take her brother, Emil, is that his name? Yeah, she didn't take Emil with them. What? That was so freaking weird. I hated that part. I did not understand it at all. It was all over the place, okay? Now, all that being said, did I enjoy reading it? Yes, I thoroughly enjoyed reading it because I love her as an author. I love the worlds and the characters she creates. And so yes, I thought there were so many problems with this book, but I still really enjoyed reading it. And it had me on the edge of my seat. I didn't think it was as satisfying as it could have been. And again, like I said, maybe that's on purpose and we'll be laughing at ourselves for thinking this was bad when it was actually set up for something even more grandiose. But I do love Sarah J. Maas and think her mind is just incredible and wonderful. So I did enjoy reading this book. And I sat on my rating for a couple of days and I really do think it earned a 4 stars. I liked it better than the first Crescent City book, I think. But I think I gave that one 4 stars too. I don't know, I might have given it 3. Anyhoozle, it was just a bit of a letdown. And you know what? Sometimes that's okay. Series aren't perfect, authors aren't perfect, and I still enjoyed reading it. And I'm, of course, going to pick up whatever this woman writes next because I think she's a brilliant genius. So, thank you so much for coming along with me on this wild roller coaster of reading the most anticipated book of the year. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!